Hello and welcome to XVD Bibles. My name is Ethan. So today I wanted to do a little bit of a show and tell on a number of the leathers that I have recently purchased for both commissions and non-commission projects. So I wanted to give kind of a run through of some of the newer leathers I've started working with. So if you are, purchasing a rebind and are considering a number of these different types of leather, this is a great video for you. But if you're a rebinder yourself, this is something, this will be a good resource for you to really know what you're getting in terms of, pictures that you see online, and how it compares to the actual product you get in the mail. So there's a number of leathers here that I've worked on before, a number of new ones, and some that I've actually never seen. There's one leather here that I've never seen on a Bible rebind before, so that's kind of unique. I like doing unique things for non-commissioned Bibles, Bibles that I make for myself, and then often that leather, when I post it online, people start wanting that leather. So that happened with my Missouri rebind of the NASB diadem. I posted about that leather, how much I like it, how cool I thought it was, how nice it is to work with, and then within a couple weeks I got an order for that exact color combination, that exact leather. So that's what I want to do here. I want to give a little bit of a comparison. I also want to do a comparison between two really popular Badlassi Carlo colors. So Badlassi Carlo Waxy, as you know, probably comes in a bunch of different colors. And two of the colors I often get the question, what's the difference between cognac or whiskey? What's the difference between cognac and Olmo? So I have both a cognac and an Olmo panel right here. So I'm going to show you the differences between them, because they're often they look really similar, but there's a number of really key aesthetic differences that you should be aware of before you purchase a rebind with that leather. But we'll get to that. So the first thing I wanted to show you is a really cool leather that I've been working with over the past several weeks, or a couple weeks at this point, and this is Horween Bison. So this is a real bison leather. The color is 93 brown. It's like a dark brown, dark espresso. Kind of like it looks like a Hershey. In person, it looks like a Hershey's chocolate kind of color. And this has a stamped grain, but the grain on it is really nice. And I'm working on a Bible rebind and a journal cover in this leather. And I can tell you, this leather was really nice to work with. When I saw it in the pictures online, I was really expecting this leather to be really firm and not supple, kind of hard to work with, hard to fold. But I found this leather to actually be really, really not really soft, but on the softer side. It is really nice to the touch. Like this grain, it might feel rough, but it is actually feels really nice. This is a stamped grain, but the grain on it looks really, really cool. And it kind of has I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a slippery feel to it, kind of like a well-oiled piece of leather. I've really liked working in this leather. I would be enthusiastic about doing another Bible in this leather. And this is the cover that I've been working on in this leather. So this is a cover. Obviously, it's not completed. I still have to do the foldovers and all of that, but this leather tools really, really well. The spine hubs on this just came out really crisp because of how softer on the softer side and how flexible this leather is. And this leather just blind stamps so well. I was really happy with how this blind stamps. This is a cover for an ESV Heritage with a black lambskin liner. And honestly, I was prepared to use a floppier, softer lamb skin for this liner. I had that on hand ready for this Bible because I was expecting this leather to be really firm, kind of like a normal, Horween Chromexcel here. But this leather ended up being a lot softer and more floppier. So I paired this with a slightly thicker lambskin liner, and I really like this combination. This is like for me and the type of Bibles that I like making for people. This is like the ideal type of consistency here. It'll break in really well. It'll be really floppy, new, and especially when it's broken in. But this is like a really good overall like structure, overall feel for a cover. So I ended up with this one. Again, I was prepared to for this leather to be more of a firm leather, but I ended up going with a little bit of a thicker liner for this, and I really like how this paired. So I really think this is like a home run combination here. So really like again how this blind stamps, how this tools, and again this is from the Horween Tannery, and it's their bison leather. So the next one I wanted to show is. So the next leather I wanted to show is Horween Chromexcel, and kind of what that looks like from the leather store that I purchased these from. So this is a panel of Horween Chromexcel navy, and I really like the color variation in this leather. So you can see here these horizontal striations here are natural to the leather. It's not from like mishandling or anything like that. Those are called fat marks, and they are naturally occurring blemish is a negative word, but I don't think they're blemishes. Naturally occurring feature of a number of different leathers. So this is going to go on that 36 GSM NIV Quintel that I've been working on. I've already started, doing the spine work on that one. And the leather store was really generous with the panel of this. This is a good 3 square feet that they gave me, even though I only ordered 2. So yeah, this is again Navy Chromexcel. And this type of finish, this like oily, waxy finish, that is what it looks like from the leather shop. But I often will like buff it a little bit once I complete the Bible, and it'll get more shiny and more smooth looking. So yeah, that's Horween Chromexcel Navy. That is definitely one of the more premium leathers that I work on, just price wise. And I'm actually going to be doing a dark espresso Horween Bible here in May. Really excited about that one. Customer, that's a commission project. I'm actually going to be rebinding a 36 GSM New King James Quintel, which I'm really pumped about. I can show that here. So this is the Bible I'm going to be working on here in May. This is actually I'm going to be rebinding a rebind, which is the first. This is going to be the first time I've ever done that. This is a frost rebind in river grain goat skin, 36 GSM Quintel. So I'm going to be doing this one here in May, which I'm really excited about. I've never done a rebind of another rebinder's work. The lady said, the customer said, she doesn't have any problem with, how Frost's, product is. She just didn't really like the river grain goat skin. So she's going to be having this one. I'm going to be rebinding this one in dark espresso Chromexcel. So I'm really, really excited about this rebind. I'm actually doing a lot of Skylers here recently. I have the 36 GSM NIV that I mentioned earlier that I'm doing. I'm doing a ESV PSQ here in May, and I'm going to be doing that 36 GSM Quintel as well. So really, really cool. I'm starting to get really premium Bibles that people want me to work on, which is kind of surreal to me, but kind of have a little bit of imposter syndrome when people send me super nice Bibles like that to rebind. So anyway, we'll go ahead and move on here. So I wanted to do here. So next, I wanted to do a comparison between Olmo and Cognac. So this, let's see here. Let's put these side by side. So my lighting here is not going to capture this is Badlassi Carlo Waxy, and the one on my left, this is Cognac, and the one on my right is Olmo. So this one looks, in person, this one looks more of a warm orange color than what it kind of looks like on the camera. On the camera, it kind of looks like a mustardy orange color, kind of like a yellow, kind of like a weird yellowish. This is more of a warm orange in person. So you're just going to have to trust me about that. I'll try to take some pictures in more natural lighting and put them in the video for your use. So yeah, again, Cognac on the left, Olmo on the right. So my little spiel that I give people when they ask what the differences between these two leathers are, the difference between these two is that if you want your Bible to look more understated, conservative looking, you want it to look like leather, like cowhide, but not any kind of like crazy color combination. You don't want it to look bright and kind of flashy. Then I would recommend going with Cognac. Olmo really like is very striking in person. Like if you walk into a room with someone with a really cool looking Olmo Bible rebind, it really catches your eye and really is noticeable. But Cognac is a lot more understated. If you like the warm colors of, lighter colored leathers, then definitely go with Olmo. And if you like as much pull up as you can possibly get on a leather, I would go with Olmo. Cognac has pull up to it. Cognac has plenty of pull up to it, but if you want to like have the epitome of like the most pull up Bible ever, definitely go with Olmo on the right here. But that isn't to say that I don't like Cognac. Cognac here's more of those fat marks that I mentioned. These vertical striations here are just a naturally occurring condition that you'll get in some leathers. That isn't to say, that Cognac is not a great leather. If I was to do a rebind for myself in one of these two leathers, I would probably choose Cognac, just because I don't love like the super flashy, bright leather look for just my personal use. Because I already have one. Like I think this leather, Missouri, is such a flashy looking leather, like with its kind of leopard spots on it. I kind of like to balance out the Bibles that I use. I like to have one that's like really flashy looking or like really striking, and one like more conservative, and kind of go back and forth in that way. So, but yeah, if you want a Bible that is much more understated, but still like screams, this is a real leather Bible, this is a real cowhide Bible, I'd go with Cognac. But if you want something like to maximize like the pull up, maximize the color, then definitely go with Olmo. So, yeah, that's my comparison on those two leathers. So we'll go ahead I wanted to get to this one at the end, because this is actually a completely new leather that I've never seen on a Bible rebind before. So I want that to be the finale. So Couple other cool leathers here. This is a leather that I really like, a type of leather that I really like working in, but I've never had a customer want this color. So this is really familiar to this channel. This is Minerva box cowhide, but by Badlassi Minerva box. But this is the Olmo color. So Badlassi, they have really similar color names between all of their different types of leather. This is Olmo Minerva box, Olmo Waxy. So they have a similar kind of really warm orangey type, color dye on them. So, really cool fat marks in this one too. You can see those vertical striations there. This panel is actually for a local friend. He's getting an ESV journaling Bible rebound by me, one of the hardback ones. So yeah, really, this is a really cool color. I've never seen this color in person before, but it is really pretty. It's such a warm, summery. Well, actually, it's kind of like more of an autumn color. To me. It kind of looks like leaves that are in the process of changing color for autumn. So really cool color, this one. So this is Olmo Minerva box. So this one here, actually wanted to keep this Minerva box leather here. So this here is a leather that's newer. Get these scraps out of the way. So this is a newer Badlassi leather here. This is called Badlassi Napa Luxe. And I've worked on this leather a good bit before. So this leather is what I used for this liner here. And this is a really, really pretty leather. So this is Olmo Badlassi Napa Luxe. And I posted pictures of that diadem on my Instagram with the Napa Luxe liner and the Missouri cover. And a gentleman named Blake, he ended up ordering a Bible rebind, that exact color combination. So that's what this is for. So I don't have the Missouri yet. I'm going to get it in the next week or so from when I'm filming this. But Badlassi Napa Luxe is a really cool leather. So if you are considering like different leathers to purchase, Napa Luxe is like the epitome of like a really, really pretty smooth calfskin. I think it's technically cowhide, but it has that like really, really kind of smooth appearance, smooth feel as a calfskin. And it comes in several different colors. But this is the cognac. Or is it the cognac or the Olmo? I'll put like a subtitle in here. I really like using Napa Luxe as a liner, but I've also used it on a cover. It works well for either. But if you want like the kind of the cool factor of having a Badlassi Carlo Bible through and through, like if you want, Badlassi Carlo is a really popular tannery. Like if you want the epitome of a Badlassi Bible, get Napa Luxe as your liner and get one of the other Badlassi leathers as your cover. Makes a really nice liner, really soft and floppy. I got this thin to 0.7 millimeters here, and just really pretty color. So yeah, that is Napa Luxe. So this final leather here is one that I've never seen on a Bible rebind before. If you have been following this channel for a while, you know that I really like La Perla Azzurra, the tannery that makes Missouri. And this is one of their other really, really popular leathers. This is a leather called Amazzonia. And the leather color here is marrone. which means brown. I think it's brown in Italian. And this leather is a newer leather that I found recently that is just really pretty. So in the words of one of the leather stores that I use, they said Amazzonia is the matte cousin of Missouri. And I see that here. You know, there's you see here there's some speckling in the color, which is definitely, you know, what Missouri is like. But the texture here is like, it's matte, but it's like, it's smooth at the same time. I really like the look of this leather. It has a medium amount of pull up to it. It's really similar in firmness to like Badlassi Carlo Waxy. So if you were going to take this panel here of Amazzonia and take this panel here of Cognac Waxy, really similar feel between the two of them. But the finish on Amazzonia is a little bit more, it feels more refined than Badlassi. Badlassi Carlo Waxy feels very raw. It has a waxy feel to it, obviously, but it feels like supernatural feeling. But Amazzonia, to my feels a lot more refined, more of a refined leather than Waxy. So yeah, I was honestly not super into this leather right when I got it because it was really smooth and kind of boring. But I realized that this leather like wrinkles really nicely. So what I ended up doing was like, I kind of was like scrunching this leather to kind of see if I could like get a little bit more character, in this leather. And obviously I, flattened it back out again. But I realized that this leather, like when you distress it a little bit, gets these really cool wrinkles, really cool character. So yeah. And I ordered a 2 square foot panel of this, but they ended up giving me 3 square feet, or maybe like 2.75 square feet. So I'm actually going to have enough of this leather to make 2 Bibles out of, which I'm really excited about. Obviously, I have no idea how it skives, how it stamps. I did have some trouble stamping Missouri, but I figured it out in about 10 or 15 minutes of trial and error on some scraps. But I suspect that if it's anything like Missouri, this leather is going to skive and just make a beautiful Bible. So this is Amazzonia from La Perla Azzurra. And the color is not mocha, sorry. The color is marrone, which just means brown in Italian, I think. So I'll also put in a picture. My camera isn't picking up the really nice color of this. I'll put in a picture of that in natural lighting for you to see. But yeah, so this was a tour of a number of the really cool leathers I've been working on recently. If you are interested in any of these leathers, have any questions, whether you are, a potential customer of mine or are a rebinder, I would love to answer any of your questions. So yeah, this is a little bit of a leather tour of the leathers that I've gotten recently. Thank you for watching. This is Ethan from XVD Bibles.